Hey guys, welcome back to Professional Weekenders YouTube channel. Today we're in the garage and today we're swapping out the jockey wheel on my jet ski trailer. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun, so stick around, check it out, and let's go. Alright guys, so it's that time again when it's time for spring cleaning out here in the garage, which means winter time because it's the only time in Florida when it is cool enough to spend any more than about 20 minutes out here because it's normally so freaking hot. So what that means is I'm trying to get my garage in order, so I really apologize for the mess. I know it's been messy in previous videos, but it's really a wreck right now because it's one of those things where you gotta make more of a mess in order for it all to kind of come together at the end. So we're trying to organize, we're trying to throw out some other things that I don't need anymore. So everything's kind of disoriented at the moment. But one of my big things is that this wall over here I've been using for some storage, and I haven't really been able to get to it because it's where I park the jet skis. Whenever we go riding and we put the jet skis away, I always have to slide them over to the side of the garage anyway, so I do get a lot of use out of my jockey wheel and out of my wheel dollies. We've covered the wheel dollies in a previous video. But that jockey wheel, this is the current state of my jockey wheel. It is the one that came with the trailer. I've had it for about 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years, and it's in rough shape. You can see it's all rusted. I really haven't taken that good care of it. I wasn't really sure how to do one of these before, and I just didn't really take good care of it, and it's all rusted out. It's a cheap one. The wheel never really turned that well to begin with. Now the mechanism inside has broken, and the thing doesn't really extend anymore. So obviously that jockey wheel needs to be replaced. And I've been wanting to upgrade it for a while because I wanted one that was easier to swivel and kind of help push the trailer out of the way. Because I'm in the middle of doing the spring wintertime cleaning here in the garage. And I'm getting to the point now where I want to tackle the wall behind me. But in order to do that, I got to get this jet ski moved out of the way. With the state of the jockey wheel as it is now, it's going to be a pain. And I figured I'd just film this video right in the middle of all the chaos. So today, we're going to embrace the chaos. So here is the new jockey wheel that I've got. This is the Fulton 1,500 pound capacity XLT. So this is quite a bit larger. When I get the older one off, we'll set them side by side and we can get a good comparison. But you see it's got this large plastic wheel. It's a hard plastic. I was hoping that was rubber or something. But it's a big plastic wheel. I've heard good reviews about this, that supposedly this thing swivels really easy. And that it's easy to jack up and down. It comes with some hardware. I guess one thing, the wheel didn't come installed. I did already go ahead and just slide the bolt through there. I need to tighten it down though. I've only got it hand tightened so far. It came with some other hardware here though. Basically just some mounting brackets and bolts. So it shouldn't be too difficult to change out. It's got a nice release pin. And what I really like about this jack, and what I think makes it one of the more premium jacks on the market, is it's got some grease fittings here. There's one there. I think there's another one. Yeah, there's two more here on the back. Yeah, this is two more, one above and then one below. As well as the cap on the top comes off too, so you can put some grease in there. I've got the owner's manual that came with it, which is handy. But the owner's manual is apparently fairly generic for most Fulton products. And it kind of gives you pictures of other jacks, but with an idea of what you're supposed to do. So here it shows, to add grease to the gears and then oil to basically the rods that go in and out here. It also talks about adding oil to the wheel area. So basically greasing all your gears and oil on all of the rods. I do think that adding grease and oil are definitely going to help extend the life of this thing. I'm also going to try to do a better job of just kind of keeping the whole thing coated with some sort of anti-rust, WD-40 or something like that. Because we do take these things in the salt water all the time. So hopefully we can extend the life of this thing. This jack is quite a bit more expensive than what came on the trailer. The one that came on the trailer, I don't know exactly how much that is by itself because I bought it with the trailer. But I know you can pick up similar jacks like that at Harbor Freight for about $20. And this Fulton jack that I bought here was in the $150 to almost $200 range. I think I paid around $150 for it. But I think it's normally closer to $200. So quite a bit of an upgrade in price. Definitely much more expensive. You're talking about 7 to 10 times more expensive than if I would have just replaced it with the Harbor Freight one. So I'm hoping to get at least 5 times the amount of life out of it would be good. I don't know. It's going to be a tough call. Probably won't get that. But if it makes my life easier pushing this thing back and forth, then it's kind of worth the money. So we're going to go ahead and get it installed. Not really too much to it. Afterwards, we'll check it out and just see how it looks when it's
when it's installed. And then maybe if you guys like this video, at some point we'll give an update on it, maybe a couple years down the line, and see how it goes.
The first thing we want to do is just jack up the trailer here to get the weight off of the jockey wheel. Nothing too exciting about that. And then we're just going to remove the 4 bolts here with an impact driver, impact wrench, and we'll get the old one off. Alright, so now that we got the old one off, we can kind of get a good look at the two of them side by side. You can just see the size comparison. The wheel is definitely quite a bit larger on the new one than the old one. Even with the old one somewhat extended where it broke, you can see that it's actually still larger than the new one's still larger than that too. So this is quite a bit bigger. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get some measurements here. The new one has a wheel size of about 8 inches. The old one here was just under 6, maybe 5.5, 5 3/4. The unextended length of the new one here is about 30.5 inches.
So 2'7", that's a pretty long jockey wheel dolly when it's not extended. Hopefully it fits in the same spot. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing on, and really it's the same process. They're not hard to figure out. It's just 4 bolts. So let's get it put on.
Alright, so we got it all installed here. This is not too bad, just 4 bolts. These are 14mm bolts, but I was using a 14mm socket and it kept getting stuck, so I switched to a 15, a little bit larger, and it made it a little easier. One other thing I forgot to mention too is that there is a bolt here on the handle as well that comes with a nut, so I did pre-install that as well, but I forgot to tighten it. So when I was doing my first testing off camera, this thing fell off my hand. But yeah, another 14mm. I do like how it's got this little latch here to kind of keep the handle from flopping around, especially when you're on the road. I still got it up on the jack stand, so the wheel is fully retracted now, because I wanted to test and just kind of see how it fits and how easy it is to kind of move. And it does fit pretty nicely. It's going to work just fine for my trailer. It tucks up underneath my spare tire, and then, you know, when the swing arm is extended, it's not going to be a problem. And it's, again, I like that. It's got the little latch to kind of keep it from flopping around as we go down the road. So it's a little bit difficult one-handed, but you can do it. And there you go. So we'll give it a wheel test. That's going to be the ultimate test of this thing, is how easy does it move back and forth.
Well, at least the ultimate test for today. The real ultimate test is how long does it hold up. I'll give you another year review. Like I said, if you like this video, we can definitely come back in a year and tell you how it did. All
right, so one other thing that I forgot here was I just dropped it down off the jack, so now it's at its lowest position and it's under load. This is definitely lower than what I normally keep. I normally keep it high enough that I can just jack put the hitch right on the ball of the truck. So I need to jack it up, and I can tell you this is so much easier than my old jack. I mean, I wouldn't say effortless, but it's so much smoother, and it just cranks right on up there. So definitely enjoy that. Now again, I don't know if that's just because it's new, or if it's really just because it's a quality jack, but so much easier. Let's see how high this thing actually goes all the way up now. I mean, we're getting quite a bit of lift. Ooh, buddy. All right, there you go. That's the full extension. Yeah, I mean, again, jet skis are a mess right now because I'm trying to clean the garage, but they're definitely sloping back. It's going to help getting some of the water out of these things too. Put it back down to a normal height so that we're not putting a whole lot of pressure on that joint while we're trying to move it. All right, so now one of the tests of this thing is how easy is that wheel swivel. So you can see it's kind of perpendicular from the way I want it to go. I want the whole trailer to kind of move that direction. So if we push on this, that wheel should start to track in that direction, and you can see immediately it does. And I can tell you just from moving it that little bit there, it's super smooth. So I'm pushing this whole 3,000 plus pound trailer right now with just one hand.
All right, so let's give it a full test here and see how it goes. Oh yeah, very smooth. And I can pull the whole thing forward, go back. Yeah, the thing turns back around the correct way. Fantastic. Tell you, at least for right now, I'm a big fan. All right, so there you have it. Pretty easy to install. Definitely makes the whole moving the trailer back and forth a lot easier. We'll see how it works after it's been dipped in salt water a couple times. All right, and then the only other thing that I want to do is I'm just going to add some grease and some oil to those places that I showed you in the owner's manual. I think it comes with a little bit of that from the factory, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving this thing the best shot possible. So not much to that. So we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever had one of these Fulton jacks? What did you think of them? How did they survive? How did they hold up in the salt water? I'd love to hear about it. With that being said, we're out of here. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next weekend. When it's time for spring cleaning. So a 2'7" that's pretty long jack dolly, jockey wheel dolly. And that looks a little weird. Out the jockey wheel on my Sea-Doo. That's just on my jet ski trailer.